Well, hey y'all, it's Debbie, your girl with pearls. Today I'm bringing you a Halloween tutorial. I'm going to be making these adorable wooden block pumpkins for my grandson for Halloween. I'm going to use homemade white chalk paint, and I'm going to use that apple barrel pumpkin orange. And I have actually 4 blocks, and these came from Mimi and Papa's New Porch edition. So I asked for the scraps so we could make our grandson this adorable pumpkin. So what I'm doing is I'm only painting one of the pieces of wood white because I'm going to make that one a ghost. So I'm just going to give this 2 coats because it's white and you can see the wood grain through it. Not that I don't mind the wood grain. I want it to have that rustic feel. Okay, now I'm going to start working on the orange. And I can tell you that this did take 2 coats as well. I'm going to speed along this process for you. Alrighty, I'm going to use the Walmart brand Apple Barrel Black, and I'm going to dilute it with a little bit of water, and I'm going to use it as a stain. I'm using my chippy brush to apply it, but I'm almost going to use it as a stain. Now I want it to be fairly watery consistence. I'm showing you the size of the amount of paint I used, and then I'm just going to keep adding water until I get it to the right consistency. And I always blot my brush on a paper towel, and then I'm just going to apply it to the white, and I'm going to do just enough to give it that aged look. And for the orange pumpkins, I'm going to add in a little bit of this folk art burnt umber. I want the orange pumpkins to have a little bit more of that brown undertone, so mixing that with the black is going to give me a nice combination. I'm going to mix it well, add a little more water until I get it the right consistency, and I'm going to apply this one more like a stain. I'm actually going to rub it on. And you can see you have to use your eye to see if you have the color that you want. You see I'm adding quite a bit more brown here because I don't want it as black. I want a lot more brown undertones. So this is definitely, play with it. Add a little more water, add a little more paint till you get it the right color and the right consistency that you're looking for. And if you're a crafter or DIYer, you know that. But if you're new to crafting, just keep playing with it. You're going to learn as you grow in crafting that, you can't really make mistakes. You can wipe it off, you can start all over again, you can paint it over again if you don't like how it's come out. As long as it is still damp, you can definitely take a cloth and wash it off if you don't like it. So it's all just playing with it and what you like and what your eye likes. So I'm just going to keep rubbing this stain on to get it into the grain and to get it to the look that I'm going for, which is kind of a more older country primitive look. But I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. So here they are all finished. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to paint their faces on. And unfortunately, I lost the footage of that. But here's what I did. I made them double-sided, so there's a face on each side, because where I'm going to use this in my son and daughter-in-law's house, it's going to be in an open window box. So you're going to see it from both sides. So I thought it would be cute for my grandson to have two different faces to look at. So I'm going to sand it now, as I said. I'm going to make it look more country and primitive by sanding that new orange, and that kind of just meshes everything together. I really like the look of sanding after you've painted, if you're going for that primitive country look. And the night before, I actually made the scarecrow one, and you'll see that coming up in a minute. But I forgot to sand it. It was so late at night when I was working on it, I just said, the heck with it. I'll just sand it the next day. Now what I'm doing is I'm drilling holes in the top so I can insert a stick, and I'm going to go out in the backyard and cut, just some tree branches and glue them into the top. So I'm going to make this hole that I'm drilling a lot wider than it is. Okay, so here's the footage on me making the scarecrow the night before. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking raffia and cutting it into little small strips and gluing it to the top before I put the burlap, as you can see up there on the top, around to make the hat. I am using a popsicle stick because the first time I did it, I burnt my fingers. So here's a FYI, use a popsicle stick to hold that down. And just try to place the raffia just a few pieces at a time so that it looks like real hair, straw hair. And then I'm putting a little bit of glue over it again to make sure that the pieces stay, and holding it with a popsicle stick until it, hardens up. And I'm going to go all around him, sides and back. Now I've added the burlap, and I'm just tying a piece of jute cord around it to make it look like a hat. Oh, he's really coming out cute. My grandson's going to love him. Now I'm going to embellish it a little bit more. I'm going to add some raffia coming out the top, so it looks like a real scarecrow. And I'm kind of just pulling on the edge of the burlap to make it all, as you could see, stringy looking, because I think it looks more like something you'd find in the garden, an old piece of burlap all shredded up. So just keep pulling the threads until you get it to look the way you want. And then I'm going to use some more raffia and glue it down. I thought I might want to do that, but I've decided against that. I was just looking to see if I wanted to embellish it anymore, but because it's for my grandson, I really don't want to make it look too frou-frou-y, if you will. So I've decided not even the leaf. I'm just going to leave it plain. But I am going to cut some more raffia and put it coming out the top of the hat. I'm going to make a raffia bow, and actually I'm going to glue it over the jute string because I just felt like he needed to look a little more. Yeah, that makes a difference. Nope. I keep playing with that leaf. pulling it a little bit tighter to get more of a, you can see now that when I put the bow on, it's going to look better. And then I'll fan out the top. And put that raffia in it. Using my popsicle stick again because I already learned once tonight. I don't want to burn myself again. And I'm just cutting that string off. And I think it looks good added there with the raffia. It makes it look more primitive. And you'll see here's where I'm going to add more of that raffia coming out the top of his hat. And that's just what I think it needed to finish it off. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I think it's adorable, and my grandson's just going to love it. So here's a look at the finished product. You can see my sticks coming out of the top. I didn't film the footage of me cutting the sticks or gluing them in, but you get the drift. And I just put raffia and a little black and white stripe bow on each side. Now on the pumpkin, I didn't drill a hole. I didn't put a stick because a pumpkin the ghost, I'm sorry. The ghost doesn't have a stick, so the ghost is just the same. Now I'm just going to turn them around so you can see how I painted a different face on the other side, all except for the scarecrow. So that's a happy ghost. And then on this pumpkin, I made a silly pumpkin face. You know, I did it real whimsical because for my grandson, I just wanted it to be more at his age level appropriate. But you can do it. If you want to do scary faces, you can do whatever you like. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to use it in a little display so you can see what it looks like. This is the display I'm going to be taking over to my grandson's house. I've got that beautiful lit pumpkin that's a 3-decker. And then I got the Beware sign at the Dollar Tree for $1. So I'm going to be bringing that over to my grandson's house and using it for his decorations. I hope you'll join me for my Halloween series. I have more coming up, so subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss anything. And if you hit the notification bell, every time I upload a video, you'll be notified. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day.